All right, hi everybody. It is Thursday evening, about 6:45 in the evening. We wrapped up our 6 o'clock newscast. We were talking about all the storms going on, and I wanted to give you an update on what's happening out there this evening as we continue to track all these storms moving on through. And again, the main threat, as we've seen all evening long, is some hail. I'll take my glasses off for a second. I don't have my anti-glare glasses on, so the halo lights are reflecting off that. It looks a little weird. So anyway, we're tracking these storms that are going to be around. We got the first round roll by, second round to come on by from early to mid-evening, so we'll keep a track of those. And overall, severe thunderstorm watches out till midnight. But I think beyond that time, all the storms start to move on out. So we'll allow a few more folks to jump on board, and we'll get started here and talk about the storms that are ongoing here, just to my right there, as storms are blossoming up over northeast Alabama, back over middle Tennessee, and you can see sort of the gap that we've had between the storms over us now. Little break, and then here they come right here. So not every storm has been severe, but a few of those have produced some marble and pea-sized hail. If you go to my Facebook page, we've had I posted some video that viewers sent from that, and we've seen quite a few reports of that. Now, aside from that, no other wind damage, which is good. Some of these have had the capability to produce wind gusts up to 60. Tornado threat's extremely low with these, so it's not a per se a big tornado threat with these. Let me move this over. I can see some of the comments here coming through. All right, we got Deborah watching. Hello, Dwight. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Vivian. And we'll take a look at what's going on out there. We'll allow a few more folks to jump on board here, and we'll get started. Tina from Inglewood watching. Hello, Tiffany. So there was a hail in Rock Spring followed by a double rainbow. Nice bonus. Hello, Patty from Ottawa. Sarah, let's see, asking about Kensington near Chickamauga. I've not heard of any damage in that area. There was quite a bit of hail, but I've not heard personally. So if you have any reports from that area of Walker County, do let me know. Here was San from Sunny Daisy. Hello, Cherie. Hello, Ambra. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Catherine. All right. So let me, I'm going to put the radar at full view here, and I'm going to take my picture off. See if we can make it shift here. And make the radar just a little bit bigger. No, not me bigger. I'm going to make the radar bigger. How about that? All right, give me 1 second here. There we go. Perfect. That's what we wanted to do. We want you to be able to see the radar a little bit better. So here's what we have going on right now. We have still a few ongoing warnings locally. We were tracking this storm, which is still pretty nasty looking. Heavy rain, still possibly a hail producer there in southern parts of Catoosa, western parts of Whitfield. All of these have been moving to the east roughly at around 25 to 30 miles an hour. So we put a track on that, heads up in Dalton. That's coming your way. There's an estimated timeline with that cell. Again, there's no warning with that, but Dalton, Chatsworth, Ramhurst, in the Sweden community, right in there in Gilmer County. That's what will move over the next hour to the east and southeast around 30 miles an hour. Warning here into Cherokee County going into Clay County, so right between Murphy and Hayesville. You can see that cell kind of merging there. Again, it might have a little bit of hail with that. Again, that warning out for Cherokee and Clay is out till 7:30. And again, the main threats are quarter-size hail with that one. Quite a bit of lightning too, and very heavy rain. So be aware of that for Murphy. It's about you're on the backside of it in Murphy, but Hayesville is coming across the county line and then the mountainous terrain just to your north. All these other cells are not severe warned. They are west of the plateau, and we'll talk about these coming up. We have a couple of warnings here. Scottsboro over to Section. This takes us into the Sand Mountain area. and then southern parts of DeKalb County as well. We'll look at that storm first of all that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning in this part of Jackson and DeKalb County. That's out to the top of the hour, 7 Eastern. Severe thunderstorm warning located near Scottsboro. It's now east of Scottsboro. Moving east at 40, could have quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. You notice a theme here. That's what it's going to be. It's mainly hail and strong wind gusts in some of these storms. They're also very fast movers. That one moving to the east at 40. That's even faster. So the upper-level wind's really picking up. So if we look at how fast it moved just south of Scottsboro, right there along 72, and it's now approaching Sand Mountain. So I'm going to back out a bit to be able to track it to the east at 40. We're going to track this one, then we'll talk about this one. Here's a new warning for northern parts of Jackson, but we'll track this one first and then talk about these two. So with this one, it's a smaller cell moving east at 40. You can see it's going to cross the state line, but in the next hour, it's going to carry it potentially Rainsville over Sand Mountain, as far north as Henniger, and then moving over Lookout to about Menlo. So Chattooga, Southern Walker, be aware of that one in the next hour. That's where that'll be moving. All right, this is the newest warning northern parts of Jackson just issued. That is severe thunderstorm warning for Jackson County until 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern. Again, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour gust. And that'll be impacting areas, for example, like Princeton, the Walls of Jericho area, Russell Cave, Estill Fork, and Stevenson. So moving right past the high top radar site, which is right there. And again, that movement is to the east at 25, a little slower than that other cell. I'll put a track on that for you. Here we're going to track the leading edge of that, which is right close to the radar site. And you can see within the hour, Stevenson, if it stays in that pace, Stevenson around 6:34 Central, probably a little before then. It may be moving faster than that, but that was their rough estimate. But that gives you an idea of the timeline with that one. These are all, again, in Central Time, moving off to the east. Now let's go to the southern part of DeKalb County, that big old cell right there. That one's coming out from near Albertville, coming out of Marshall County. That's on the southern edge of Sand Mountain. And that one's a pretty massive storm. Look at the loop over the past hour. All right, that particular cell is moving east at 50, east-southeast at 50. And it could have quarter-size hail that was also reported in Gunnersville. So we'll take a look at the hail cord here in a second. So you've got the far southwestern corner of DeKalb County, Alabama, under this warning, and that goes until 6:30, 7:30 Eastern. So DeKalb has two particular warnings with it. One in the southwest corner here, let me get my cursor, and one here in the northern part. But let's take a look at where the hail is with that one. They've had quarter-size hail reported near Gunnersville. Yeah, you can see near Albertville right now. That deep, deep blue is over an inch in diameter, so that easily equates to quarter-size hail. So be aware of that. Far southern DeKalb, as that rolls eastward, Crossville, Collinsville, this part of DeKalb County, between now and 7:30 Eastern, next half hour, you could have some quarter-size hail as that moves off to the east. Just a reminder, area-wide, we're under severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. I think once we're past midnight, most of this will be moving out fairly rapidly. So not lasting all night long, mainly just this evening. And again, your main threats, as we're seeing, is that of hail and some strong wind gust. Let's see some of the comments. Tony says, hailing stopped there in Rock Spring. Nothing in Menlo at the moment. Shannon, we just showed Cherokee and Clay a few moments ago, but I'll go back over there in a few minutes as we make our rounds across the viewing area. But we did cover those in Cherokee and Clay County, North Carolina. Let's see. Reverend McCaskill says they've had 2 rounds of pea-sized hail in Athens, Tennessee. All right. Thanks for all your comments also. So again, we've had this first round move on through. Little bit of a break, barely, and now we've got all these marching on in. And just to show you what this is all about, if you take a look at the wide view here, this is all part of an upper level low. And the winds are moving like this. Well, let me do a curve line. I was never an artist. They're kind of moving like this, okay? So there's an upper level low, and it's positioned right about here. It's positioned right here. So it's bringing down this cool air, and it's bringing down colder air to a lower altitude. And so we talked about this yesterday and how when you have a situation like this, these are going to be hail producers. And so late afternoon, early evening, we're fairly confident of that, and that's what we have today. It's not been too large, which has been good. Some of the leading edge here, feeding off the daytime heating, we've had pea marble size, a couple of spots, has some ping pong size. But, once you get past the leading edge of the second batch, it does calm down a little bit. I would really say once we get toward late evening, a lot of this starts moving away. And if I'll pause this just a second and move this here, you'll notice here's the second round. It's kind of more forming right in here. So it's really going to favor more areas south than north, okay? And that'll be moving to the east and southeast, kind of this general direction like this. So really areas south of the city with the second batch have a higher chance of having some hail producers, and north not as much. Okay, so mainly city and south has a higher chance of this, and not kind of trending away to the north. We'll see if that trend continues. I mean, it may start popping back in here, but it seems to be where these are occurring there. All right, we'll go back to the live radar view, and again, I promised Shannon we go back to the Cherokee Clay County view, and there you go. You can see Murphy now on the back edge of the storms, at least this round of storms, so things are improving there. So a lot of lightning, loud claps of thunder east of Murphy around 129, and Hayesville kind of on the back edge as well. It seems to be a little stronger east and northeast of Hayesville, but that part of Cherokee and Clay, that warning out still till 7:30. And primarily quarter-size hail and some strong wind gusts. All right. And then these other cells here are still pretty strong. That one near Dalton, you folks in Dalton, it's pretty loud right now. You've already had one storm go by, but this one could still have a little bit of hail with that. Let's do our hail tracker on there. See where that deepening dark red is? Usually when there's high reflectivity right in here, it can tend to be a little bit of hail. It's probably not big, but we'll take a look at it anyway. We'll see what the radar is showing. Yeah, just a wee little bit. It's not. So if there is hail happening, it's pretty small, and that's more to the east. So approaching Dalton, so a little hail mixed in, but not too big. That's good. That's the way we want it. We don't want it big. So Mill Creek, over the Mill Creek Road, Doug Gap Mountain Road, you got some very heavy rain over you. Quite a bit of lightning in and around downtown Dalton up to around Rocky Face. So it's pretty loud out there. Just stay inside. Let this storm pass on by. But it is a very fast mover. There's some movement over the past hour. So 7:30, that'll be over and out. So a bit of a break in other spots. And here come those other cells coming out of Jackson County and into Dade County. Again, these are not too strong, these redevelopments. Maybe some of that energy taken out with that first round. We hope so. That tends to stabilize things just a bit. And you got this severe warning storm here in that northern part of Jackson County, which goes all the way to Stevenson, out till 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern. And then, of course, we're tracking those pretty nasty ones down here. That's a really large storm. That southern part of DeKalb County now, from Crossville to Albertville. Again, this has already had a history of producing some quarter-size hail. So Albertville, and especially into Crossville, southern DeKalb, be aware of that. This particular polygon, that warning out till 6:30, roughly the next 27 minutes. That's 6:30 Central. And notice again, I was kind of circling on the larger map view. It was this round of storms right there. These seem to be the strongest of the second batch. And notice the movement. They're kind of moving, kind of marching along to the east and southeast. So these are going to probably continue to have some warnings along with that to the south and east into parts of North Georgia. Let's see some of the comments here. Hello, Tina from Inglewood. Tina, yeah, there could still be some rain and thunder in Inglewood with the second batch. Probably a little stronger south than around you, but we'll keep an eye on that. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Tommy Morrison. Reporting thunder and lightning near Dalton. Tommy's one of our regular viewers here. So, Tommy, thank you so much for watching. Hello, Kay, watching in Dalton. Hello, Tammy. Hey, Cousin Annie. I'm watching out for you in Scottsboro there. Yeah, that one just rolled just past Scottsboro there, but it's headed towards Rainsville, that part of Sand Mountain. But again, it's a pretty small storm, but this one could had a warning with it. Could have a little bit of hail with that near Rainsville and right along the Jackson-DeKalb County line on Sand Mountain. Again, a pretty loud cluster of storms here, South Pittsburgh, Stevenson, Bridgeport. Again, it's not it's loud, but not too severe. Beware the strong wind gust. What you're seeing here in Huntsville, where it's shaded, that is a airport advisory. It just means that for any incoming flights there, jets or even small airplanes, that they're going to have storms and strong wind gusts coming through that part of Huntsville over the next couple of hours. So that's what that white represents there. If you're wondering, that's unusual looking polygon, but that's what it means. Just an airport advisory. All right, we do have these cells here coming off the plateau. We'll see how these hold together. This is over near Murfreesboro. And one here west of McMinnville and near Manchester. So these warnings are in effect. These will be central time out till 7:45 Eastern. So we'll keep an eye on these if they hold together. They don't seem to be as strong as the ones to the south, but heads up in Grundy, Van Buren, Bledsoe, as these march their way to the east. Let's see. The movement of these has been to the east at 25. So we'll give you a rough estimate here. So if we kind of just take this from here, east at 25, this will be the movement over the next hour or so. It may go as far as Spencer and Van Buren County and into northwestern Grundy County between now and the top of the next hour. So we'll see if any severity holds together with those. So again, your main elements to watch for are hail and damaging wind gust. Tornado threat's really low with these. You always have to be aware of a small percentage, but it's a very low percentage with these. There's not much low-level inflow. These are mainly reacting to that cold pool of air being pulled down to a low altitude and a lot of helicity in the upper atmosphere. So they're responding to that. It's all part of this upper low moving by, which is going to bring even colder air to the surface. So we got a really cool into the week and cool start to the weekend coming up. It'll improve rapidly through the weekend. Again, this shows you the overall movement over the past hour. And again, notice how there's a lot of cells out here. Not all are severe. Okay, there'll be some areas where it just rains, it's loud, but not all are hail producers. Okay, two largest ones are here. And they're dropping more southeast. So they'll probably have an extension of that warning in southern DeKalb, then slide to the east and heads up in Floyd County for that one. We'll keep an eye on these. Tend to be growing with some of the outflow. So Dade, Walker, round 3, maybe. But again, it's the same severe factors. It's not any worse than the first rounds were. And this is more the back edge near I-65. So again, mid to late evening, we'll see this threat kind of wind on down and not last all night long. And then area-wide, of course, that severe thunderstorm watch out until midnight. Let me check one other screen here. Do a little multitasking here. Well, if you have any, we've had some folks send in great pictures of the hail that you've had. And please take the pictures or videos safely. Don't injure yourself because hail can hurt. Go to our website and look for Chime In. So if you go to newschannel9.com, look for the Chime In tab. That's where you can submit it. It's much easier for us to import it and then use it on air than it is to receive it online. If I receive it online, I got to go through several other steps and hoops to get through. But if you send it through our Chime In page, we can get it on air and online a lot quicker. So we appreciate that. Looking over all the storm reports there. A lot of hail and wind reports across the region. I can show you these so far. If we look at these storm reports, I've got that tab pulled up already. I'm about to put hail back on here because sometimes it would get mixed in with the wind reports. There we go. And it really starts populating the map. So this is more of wind and hail, okay? In fact, I'll change it just so, because we'll check back on this map. So I'll do a little updating here real quickly. You'll see it change. Usually we've been tracking damage reports, but this time we're checking wind and hail reports. There we go. So we've had quite a bit of hail reported in many spots. Let's just take a look at some of these. For example, this is near Battlefield Parkway, close to an inch diameter. That's about quarter size. This is about penny size, so about 3/4 of an inch. Quarter is about an inch in diameter. Let's go to northern Dade County, right at quarter size near New Home Road and Ballard Road. And we're near South Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at that. That's a hail report. Same thing. About 5:30 this afternoon with that hail. No other wind damage reports, which is good. We'll keep an eye on that. I hope it stays that way. So look at Franklin County. This is over near Winchester. A little over quarter size. There were reports of some ping pong ball size hail in some of those spots. And that was around 4:30 this afternoon with that first round of storms that rolled by. And we'll take a look at one other one here. This is right along the Van Buren and Bledsoe County line over near Old Cumberland, right at quarter size from this afternoon. Just to blow it up again, not too many wind damage reports. Here's a gust report, Metro Nashville. Let's take a look at that. Gust is 60 at 6:45. That was in Smyrna. And is this near the airport? That was near Antioch. Yeah, that's from the airport, the Automated Surface Observation Station, or ASOS. 61 miles an hour at the airport in Nashville. That was at 6:40 Eastern time. So we'll keep an eye on these reports as we go through the evening. There's the extent of the severe thunderstorm watch. Let's do another radar loop across the viewing area. We'll take a look at that cell down near Dalton, making some noise between Dalton and Chatsworth, now south of 76, right along the Whitfield and Murray County line. Again, there's no warning with that, but it's still pretty loud. That is right along just west of 225. So over near Keith's Mill. Quite a bit of lightning with that. If there's hail with it, it's really small. But heads up in Chatsworth, Ramhurst, over to Carter's, all this area right along 411 on into Murray County. You get a little loud there with some rain, but at Dalton, things are improving. You're probably still hearing the lightning in the distance, or excuse me, hearing the thunder in the distance, seeing the lightning in the distance, but things are improving there. There will be a few more storms coming in from the west. These are a little bit more ragged in appearance. Might be some hail producers with it. Pretty loud, but these are not quite as organized. That first round, you tended to have more of these supercell types. They were a little stronger updraft, the reason why we had larger hail. These here, what we're seeing now to the right, these are more in a line and a little bit smaller in size. So it's not getting as much fuel or feeding off the fuel the first round did. Still, we got to respect where these warnings are and keep an eye on that. But the hail, at least with that, is a little bit less intense than the first round. All right, there's that storm there that's marching right through the southern part of DeKalb County. Well, I tell you, in Crossville, here's Fort Payne. Here's Collinsville. You got this one coming through pretty loud. And it's had a history of producing quarter-size hail. Then you got one right behind it. So I believe this is the new warning. Is that correct? Yeah, that was issued a few moments ago. This is out till 7:30 Eastern for DeKalb and Marshall. It's the second storm. The first storm here, which is out for Etowah County farther south, out to 7:45. So this is a new warning for DeKalb County. You've got a storm going now, but the new warning's for this one coming in, this over near Albertville. So that new warning, so you're going to have a little gap, just a slight dip as things get quiet for a few moments and the next round comes on by. That's out till 7:30. But again, it's still the same thing, ping pong ball size hail and some wind gust. Let's go to the hail tracker with this one. That's one of the largest 2-inch diameter hail. Let's go to the current hail tracker. See what we can see with that one. I'll take the polygons off here. Let's take a look at that. So this is the current hail over southern DeKalb County. Again, potentially over quarter size. And near Gunnersville again, this is that second one coming through about quarter size also. So it may be a little bit higher. It's just, this is a radar estimate. It might be larger with surface reports. Let's load the radar back up here. It has to loop through. All right, and we're also keeping an eye on these approaching storms west of the plateau, northern Jackson, and we've just been looking at that one. Again, no other warnings locally, even with that loud storm south of Dalton and Chatsworth. And this little cell right there is going to provide some burst of downpours. You're probably hearing on the rooftop there. Maybe a little hail with that one. Anytime you've got like high reflectivity, like right in here, might be a little bit of hail. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's right along Tennessee Highway 28 between Jasper and Whitwell. And that is moving off to the east. All right. So eventually, Walden, Signal Mountain to Red Bank. Some pretty heavy downpours coming in. Let's see, check some of the questions here. Hello, Tina from Chatsworth. Hello, Sue. Thank you for your comment there. Hello, Martha. Gabrielle, no, the tornado threat's really low with this type system. I'm watching, but right now I think that threat looks pretty low. This is mainly going to be risk of hail and damaging wind gusts. It's been fairly consistent over the past couple of hours, but we're watching. And now it's getting real loud here in Dade, southern Marion, into Jackson County. Now, again, we'll check the hail tracker with this one. It'll take just a second as I remove those layers, put the hail tracker on there. Yeah, I'm not seeing, it's interesting. The hail shows up really well down here in DeKalb County, but over here, these other cells moving in, there's a little bit. You see these little bitty pockets, but these are not as big a hail producers as the earlier ones. It's very loud. Lots of lightning with it, but not hail. Okay, so that's at least a good thing. We'll take a look at the velocity in a second. These have not been rotating storms. We'll take a look at the velocity scan on these. Use our little scope. And you can see some, oftentimes there are hail produced. So some broad circulation there. So again, that could be producing some hail with that one west of Trenton. We'll keep an eye on that cell right there. Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. The others, mainly straight line, but we'll keep an eye on that that's a ragged appearance, but again, some rotation of the storm. So it could be producing some hail, at the very least some strong wind gusts, but it's also whether severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for that part of Jackson County. So we'll keep an eye on that cell. Let's track that for you. That's moved outside of the polygon. So if we know it's got some strong wind gusts, let me track it for you. So we'll keep an eye if they pop a warning with that. So right here along the state line, right in there, he's been moving east-southeast at about 30. So this is just a rough outline. So that's a pretty strong cell. Can you see the timeline there? Yeah. So that's all these are Eastern time. So Trenton 7:27. As that comes in, that's going to be the next 10 minutes, less than that. Kensington going up and over the mountain there, 7:45. Lytle 7:55. So over near the battlefield. And Copeland Crossing. Interesting. That's a new one for me. That's moving about 8:15. So we'll keep an eye on this storm that's got some strong wind gust potential with it. No warning with it, but we'll watch that. But I'm tracking that one right there, moving to the east. So at the very least, heavy rain, lightning, could have some strong wind gusts with it, and maybe even again some little bit of hail with it. Tiffany asked a good question. Yes, Tiffany, if you're looking at a radar and you got the options, yes, VIL or vertically integrated liquid is what you would look at for hail, and follow the legend there. If you see the deeper colors, I believe yellow and blue on the VIL, that's where you could be seeing some hail. That's a very good question. If you're looking at a like Radar Scope, for example, app, or some of the other radar apps, if you look under VIL, vertically integrated liquid, that's where you would find hail listed. Good question. Teresa, no, we still have some hail possible, some of these storms moving in. It seems to be a little smaller than before, but still the chance is there. And again, hail, just to remind everyone, it is not a wintertime precipitation. It's a spring and summer. It can happen in the winter too. But it's mostly a spring and summer when you get the very strong updrafts of these storms, and it goes way up. It takes all that moisture from the surface way up into the clouds where it drops below freezing, and then it drops back down. And the weight of the hailstone and the strength of the updraft determines how many trips back up in the cloud it takes. And every trip it goes back up in the cloud, it adds a little bit more to the layer of the ice core. So that'll determine the size. So if you have a larger hailstone, well, it's taking several trips up below freezing and below and above and then back down. But again, that's when you have storms, when you get in the late spring and summer that are 40, 50,000 feet, these strong updrafts can create those hailstones, and as they drop rapidly, they can still hit the ground as ice, before melting eventually, where temperatures are, quite warm. So it's not like sleet. Completely different. So hail very common in the spring and summer. So again, we'll keep an eye on these storms here. That one moving across the state line, and that one still has a warning with it. But I think that warning near Stevenson originated from this cluster of storms that's now east of that polygon. Yeah, it's with that right there, unless they reissued it. No, that's still out for about the next 24 minutes. That was issued before the top of the hour. So that's the old warning. But again, that particular cell is now near Stevenson, more of a ragged appearance, but still some strong wind gust potential. We'll keep an eye on that. Pretty strong cell near Valley Head. Again, notice the reflectivity here. Might have a little bit of hail with that near Henniger and Valley Head. That's coming off Sand Mountain into the valley, and then going back up and over Lookout. So be aware in Southern Dade, Southern Walker, Northern Chattooga, that cell. There's no warning with it, but again, just be aware. some little cell that will rapidly move on by to the east. And there's that large cluster of storms that's kind of cutting through that far southern corridor of DeKalb County and heading more to the south towards center and the beautiful Weiss Lake area. So, yeah, friends or family out on the lake, hopefully they're already back to shore there. Not a good time to be out on the water. And now Van Buren is under a warning for this cell near McMinnville. So you can see there was a ragged area of storms. Now it's kind of solidified into two particular cells here. So this warning for Van Buren County out until 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Again, wind gusts up to 60 and quarter-size hail. That is moving to the east at 35. So we'll track that for you. Going to have to expand out because moving east at 35 is a pretty rapid pace. So there's a bit of a timeline there. It's all in Central Time. So White Hill, 6:32 Central. Pikeville around 7:11 Central. And Summer City around 7:18 Central. This is where it'll be moving through. So even though Bledsoe not under that warning yet, be aware that between 6:30 and 7 Central, that storm will be moving through. Again, here's that cell that's Dalton now getting a break, at least from that storm. And you can see right along 76 and 411 combined from Chatsworth to Ranger. Again, strong wind gusts, rain, lightning. Below severe levels, loud, though. It'll probably stay just to the south of LJ. You'll probably catch some rain from that, hear the lightning in the distance, hear the thunder in the distance. It's been a long day. And Cherokee and Clay County now in the clear. Still some light rain in Hayesville, though not severe. A lot of our northern counties have gotten a break, but again, we'll keep an eye on these two cells right there. I mentioned that would be moving into Pikeville between now and 7 Central. And then also this cell right there, west of McMinnville. So kind of a 1-2 punch right there. Again, folks, I've seen a lot of questions, people asking about tornadoes, and that threat's extremely low. It's never zero. You always have to watch with any storms, but right now that threat's really low. It's mainly hail and strong wind gust potential. Here we go. It's getting loud in Dade County and around Trenton. So let's go back and look at the radar scope. This one had some strong wind gusts with it. Excuse me. So look at the velocity scan over the past hour. You can see a little broad, ragged rotations throughout there. So it's very common. Some of these storms have been rotating. Strong updraft, has some hail with it, but we'll keep an eye on that. But it's not too impressive, but we'll take a look at that. Keep an eye on it. So be aware in Trenton, some gusts may pick up. You're not under a warning per se, but there could be some non-severe gust coming through with that. And especially south near Rising Fawn, it's just extremely loud. Loud claps of thunder. It's a noisy early start to the evening. So over near the Macklemore Cove area, staying on Sand Mountain, now atop Lookout Mountain, not far from Cloudland Canyon. Heavy rain and lightning. Even downtown, getting some downpours coming back. It's not severe downtown, but it's chasing inside, putting an end to any outdoor activities. And just a kind of elongated west to east sort of movement with that line there from Skyline to Stevenson. All right, here's a new warning now which includes parts of Jackson County near Scottsboro. So you see this line of storms right here from Huntsville to Lacey Springs. That is heading off to the east, so it's causing a new warning now, which goes about as far east as Scottsboro and Jackson County to about 5 in DeKalb County. So That is a new severe thunderstorm warning out till 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central. Again, that warning is that storm, moving to the east at 45. It's right over Redstone Arsenal, if you're familiar with that area near Huntsville. Moving east at 45, wind gusts of 60, quarter-size hail possible with that. So I'm going to take out that airport advisory. It's kind of getting in the way. So let me change that real quickly here. And I'll do a tracker here. It just kind of gets in the way with the, as you can see on the radar. Boy, that layer's like trying to find a needle. Needle in a haystack. Anyway, tell you what, I'm gonna take the polygons off for just a second. There we go. That was easier. Anyway, so we know this storm here is moving to the east 40. I don't think you can read that. That timetable is not legible on the screen. Let's do that one more time. Again, I'm tracking this new severe thunderstorm warning, which includes parts of Jackson, parts of DeKalb. That's out till 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern. Again, 60-mile-an-hour gust and quarter-size hail moving east at 45. It's a really fast mover. These are sort of rounding the base of a trough and accelerating. The reason why they're picking up a bit. So let me track that one more time. Sometimes the timetable, let's see if it'll show up now. Come on now. Come on now. Cooperate with me. The computer can only speak English. There we go. So this is all in Central Time. So you got Gurley, 6:43, right around 7 o'clock near Langston. Scottsboro, this storm will be near you just after the top of the hour, so about 30 minutes away. Then Rainsville around 7:23. Again, these are all CT, Central Time. Tracking this severe warned storm, which is near the Redstone Arsenal, and moving east, which will impact parts of Jackson and DeKalb County. All right. And then we've got here, approaching the plateau, these two particular cells causing those warnings. We'll keep an eye on that for Van Buren and Bledsoe. Again, Van Buren is under a severe thunderstorm warning out till 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Again, 60-mile-an-hour gusts, quarter-size hail possible. That is moving to the east at 35. So let's put another tracker on that one. This one moving east at 35. So heads up in Bledsoe County. There we go. So Pikeville, even though you're not under warning yet, that is moving your way. It'll be there by just after 8 o'clock Eastern. Even as far east as Dayton, around 8:26 Eastern. Excuse me. So we're tracking that storm right there as it moves to the east-southeast. Again, southern parts of Walker and parts of Tortuga. These are two non-severe cells. It's going to get a little noisy there. Menlo, Cloudland, over to Somerville, Tryon, Lafayette. You're going to be hearing thunder coming in from the north and northwest. It's going to bring a, excuse me, fast-moving line of rain and lightning coming your way. Loud claps of thunder. So a bit noisy, but again, below severe levels. That's what's making things a bit dark and windy there in Tryon. Brooke commenting on that. So that's the reason why it's getting dark there in Tryon in that part of Chautauqua County. And again, I'm getting the same question. Tornado threat's extremely low. We're watching, but it's extremely low. This is mainly a hail and strong wind gust potential. So I'm not ignoring your questions when you ask it. It's just I've kind of answered that several times. April, what is your question? Just wondering if it's coming or going. Haven't gotten the answer yet. What location are you talking about? Let me know, and I'll pass it along. Daryl commented, seems like we're getting more severe storms in the last several years than we're used to. Well, Daryl, it's a good point to bring up. Also, this has been a La Nina into winter and start of spring. And if you watch the winter forecast I gave back in November, I alluded to the fact that we're going into the spring with La Nina. That's when severe weather can be higher. So this is why that's the case. La Nina is about to go away. We're about to go into a more neutral phase. So we might see this kind of, as the weeks go by heading into summer, start to abate a little bit. But this is, from a meteorological point of view, not surprising. This is a La Nina start to the spring. Typically, your chance for severe weather does go up. So, yeah, not every year is like this, but typically with La Nina patterns, you get this, unfortunately. Okay, April says, I'm in Kahata, but wondering if the storms are strengthening or weakening. So in Kahata, you've gotten a break now, okay? You've gotten a break. Now you got more rain coming in, another round of rain and lightning. These coming in are noisy, but compared to what we had before, the individual stronger cells are a little bit weaker. They're awfully noisy. So you're going to have a lot of lightning and rain coming your way from the west over Kahata over the next hour to hour and a half that we'll be tracking. But so far, a lot of these cells in leading edge are not severe. Noisy, but not severe. But just stay inside. Good evening, just stay inside. Rain and lightning coming your way from the west. The more severe storms, we'll keep an eye on that one. These coming from Redstone Arsenal area, but all these to the south are passing more to the south and east. And then these here, we'll keep an eye if they hold together over Van Buren County. Right in between, it's not as bad as it once was. Okay? So hope that answered your question. All right. Paula says some strong winds in Ryland, Alabama, with the power going off and on. And you can see all across the region, if you're watching a while back, the area that I circled right in here, this tends to be the stronger line of storms, right? Stronger cluster of storms, so to speak. And these are headed more east and southeast. So again, areas south of the city will be dealing with a larger aerial coverage of showers and storms moving by. To the north, more individual. But if you notice right along 65 and west, we're seeing an end to a lot of this. So it's not something to last all night long, primarily for the next couple of hours through mid-evening. Hello, Candace. Yeah, in East Ridge, it's just a little noisy there right now. No severe thunderstorm warning over you in East Ridge. You can see East Ridge, East Brainerd, just rain, a little noisy, but there'll be a little more rain and lightning coming in from the west, from near Marion County. But again, these stronger storms are to your south. And again, this particular cell, Rising Fawn, Macklemore Cove, Kensington, right along the Dade and Walker County line. It's noisy. A lot of lightning with that. We did note a little rotation earlier with that cell, but mainly it's straight line winds now. Some strong gusts. You can see where it's a little bit brighter red right in here, right along. Is that 136 there? No, that's 157. That's when it goes on top of the mountain there. So a little burst of stronger gust over near Moon Lake area. Well, that'd be farther south and west into DeKalb County, but this is east of Rising Fawn going back over Lookout Mountain. Lafayette, again, rain, lightning, though not severe. And the same thing, we touched on this one a few moments ago. This one kind of moving through parts of right along actually a 4-county spot there. Extremely southern Dade, southwestern Walker, northern Chattooga, back through eastern parts of DeKalb. As far as any other elements with that, it's mainly just straight line winds. Yeah, not seeing any rotation with that. So straight line winds, maybe a little bit of hail, but again, it's below severe levels. But that's where it's moving. So Tryon, Somerville, eventually rain and lightning. We can deal with that. Just be careful. Stay inside with the lightning. All right, checking on this warning, which is this severe thunderstorm warning out, which includes parts of Jackson, far southwestern DeKalb out till 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central. That's going to be east at 45. Could have quarter-size hail with it. Worst part of that storm is mainly near Lacey Springs area, right here. And since we're moving more in an east-southeast movement, so towards Scottsboro, you'll probably get rain and lightning. It looks like for Scottsboro, the worst part of that storm might stay south of you. Although, as we always say, if it's outlined and you're in the polygon, you got to respect that. So we'll hold that. Same thing for 5. You're in that polygon. But it looks like this here is moving more in an east-southeast trajectory. We'll keep an eye on that. And the northern part of Jackson, over to Stevenson and Bridgeport to the state line on both sides with Georgia and Tennessee. This out also till about the next 5 minutes, 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. It's really noisy there, but I think the strongest part of that cell has moved to the east towards South Pittsburgh. So right along I-24, south of there, it's pretty noisy. Getting close to Nickajack Lake. Heavy rain and lightning. And again, that'll be moving toward the split with 59 and through northern Dade and southern Marion on into parts of Hamilton County. So a little more rain and lightning coming in. And now with the sunset, you can probably see the flashes of lightning on the western horizon. Clay wondering, Clay asks, can I go to bed and wait till breakfast in the morning? Clay, depends on where you are. I would tell you that for the most part, these storms will stick around for the next couple of hours. And then from midnight on, it's a lot quieter. So, but let me know your location. I can get a little more specific with you about that. All right. So there's a sizable gap between the large cluster of storms here and then this other cluster here. It's kind of a gap in between. But if we go to the wide view here, the radar view, you can see the worst storms, the strongest ones are right along 65 and headed east. So we're in that second batch now. So, once this swings on through, then there'll still be some residual showers overnight, but you're not dealing with as much of a severe aspect of it. So things might ease a bit with time. But you'll also notice, as I mentioned about 30 minutes ago, earlier in our broadcast, how these are trending more southeast. These will impact a larger part of our viewing area. And then the cluster of storms up in here any of the far northern counties with a sizable gap in between. So for many areas, it's rain and lightning. For just a few of these storms, it'll be severe. Let me check. Let's see the updates on the Storm Prediction Center. Their mesoscale updates here. I believe this is an old one. Yeah, that's an older one. Let's see. Was there any change to it, though? Let's see. No. It's all about the same. And we'll check this other screen here. Yeah, a lot of these cells, comparatively speaking to where they were 3 hours ago, they're not as strong because that first round, they were more supercell storms. They were feeding off the daytime heating. They had their own updraft, and that's where we got the larger amounts of hail. And now the ones on this secondary round where I've got those arrows noted, they're loud, they're large, but they're not quite as individually strong as they were a couple of hours ago. So we're still watching that. Yeah, the hail size has come down quite a bit. So you're dealing with a little bit weaker updraft with it. I'm not seeing any large-scale rotation with a lot of the storms. That's good. That's a good thing. Looking at some of the other comments here. And once again, just to show you, the threat, I don't think it's going to last that long through midnight. I think before midnight from west to east, that'll start working its way out. But still that severe thunderstorm watch out for most of our viewing areas till midnight Eastern. I think beyond that time, things are a lot better. And here we go with the rain. Still this pretty nasty cell here. Let's check out the hail tracker. Just one more time. We'll pull that up. There could still be some hail with this. Some good reflectivity there. Let's see if it pumps anything. There's not been it's much lower reflectivity than we had before. So yeah, not too much. Way down here to the south, this is near Weiss Lake, your center, some hail there. If there's any other hail, it's probably really small. Okay. Same thing here in Van Buren County. Here we go. There's Spencer. That could be some quarter-size hail right there on the western part of the county. Yeah. That's why that warning's out there. Elsewhere, not saying it's not hailing, but if it is, it's smaller hail. So it's below severe size. You got to have inch diameter, quarter size to have the threshold for severe thunderstorm. So let's go back to reflectivity. And our severe polygons there. All right, so that one warning that was out for northern Jackson County has expired. We'll see if there's any extension. Right now, it's just a pretty noisy time. You go from Bridgeport, really South Pittsburgh, Bridgeport, Stevenson, over to High Top, Princeton area. It's really loud. And it's going to be more of that rain and lightning coming toward Dade County, but not severe. Same thing across Marion County. There's a lot of rain and lightning, though not severe with that coming in. And again, we've been tracking this cell right here. That was near the Redstone Arsenal. As it heads off to the east, prompted this severe warning polygon. It's probably going to move just to the south of Scottsboro. And now they popped a new warning polygon here for that southern flank, which is going to impact just the far southwest corner of DeKalb County. That area's been really hit hard this evening so far with just repeated rounds of storms. But that's a new warning just issued momentarily. That's out for DeKalb County, which includes areas like Gunnersville, but as far east as DeKalb County. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour gusts with that. So that'll include, I mean, that's way down there. If you get into DeKalb County, Gunnersville, Geraldine, far southern DeKalb County, Union Grove. So that's a new severe thunderstorm warning there. So that'll take it in those areas near Gunnersville to this portion of Sand Mountain in the far south central part of DeKalb County. Again, this warning for Jackson County, Alabama remains in effect until 8:15 Eastern. Roughly the next 30 minutes, it's for this cell right here, which is tending to move more southeast than east. So far, so good in Scottsboro. You've already had rain and lightning, and more rain and lightning is coming in from the northwest near Scottsboro, but that's not the severe cell. It's this one here near Lacey Springs. So those are the only warnings locally. Oh, they just extended this one. Of course, we tracked this in a few moments ago for Bledsoe County, so no surprise there. So just issued this new severe thunderstorm warning out for northern Hamilton, Meigs, Ray, and Bledsoe. Okay, this is out until 8:45 Eastern time. And again, that's for that severe storm near Spencer. We showed you the hail core there, had some quarter-size hail with it. This is estimating that it could be as large as $half size. So you're going toward 1.5 inches in diameter there. Okay, so $half size there, hail possible with that storm moving east at 35. And this is a new warning out, which includes southwestern Ray, southwestern Meigs, central Bledsoe, northeastern Hamilton, and that will go until 8:45 Eastern time. It is for that cell right there that is just south of Spencer. So it kind of goes to that area that kind of covers several different counties all at once. So if that's moving, let's see, east at 35, let's do a quick tracker on that for you. Track the leading edge. Okay, this gives you a brief timeline. And do note again the change from Central Time to Eastern Time. So Pikeville around 7:08. That's around 8 o'clock Eastern. Graysville around 8:25. Dayton around 8:28. And Old Washington here, far eastern part. That's in the Meigs County, right? No, that's still in Ray County until 8:40 Eastern Time. So again, Central versus Eastern. The time changes quite a bit. But you can see is that cell near Spencer sliding to the east and southeast. So that severe thunderstorm warning out there till 8:45 Eastern, which includes southwestern Ray, southwestern Meigs, central Bledsoe, and far northeastern Hamilton County. So Sale Creek included in that one. And we'll take a look at the hail one more time. A few moments ago, it had some, what appeared to be the potential of at least some quarter-size hail. The warning estimates there could be half size hail. And there it is right there near Welchland, where it's detecting hail. This is showing the reflectivity a little lower than before. So again, this is just a radar point of view. You know, we got to respect the warning. This shows about 3/4 of an inch, so about penny size. Okay, but nevertheless, still potential for some large hail with that one. We'll also do a velocity scan with that. I'm sure there's a little bit of rotation with it because it is a hail producer. Yeah, a little bit. Very broad, but strong winds nevertheless with that. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that with that new warning there for far northern Hamilton, Ray, Meigs, Bledsoe for this cell right here moving to the east and southeast. But notice how there's a sizable gap between when there's warnings. So yeah, we got these here. You know, keep an eye on that. It may tend to stay north of Cleveland, but heads up in Athens. But all these others are not severe. It's very noisy, but not as severe. Same thing toward Lafayette. It's extremely noisy there, but it's below severe levels. It's loud and it's raining heavily and the lightning's dangerous. Yes. But as far as the other elements of gust above 58 or 1 inch diameter hail, it's staying below that. But if it was severe based on being noisy, yeah, I would say a severe noisy storm. And then we got this one, this storm right here that's moving more south and east, but it's kept that warning there near Scottsboro. I think, yeah, Scottsboro's not out of that warning. I was waiting for them to do. They trimmed that down. So that part of the polygon is out for Scottsboro. So Scottsboro, you're in the clear as far as that warning because that cell's moving more southeast. But in Scottsboro, it's going to be raining and a lot of lightning. But you're okay right now. And then you got south of Scottsboro and into far southern DeKalb County, that cell still moving south and east with, again, some hail and potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. But again, this secondary line that's above that area north, it's really noisy there. Lafayette, Tryon. But again, it's mainly straight line winds with that, just below severe levels, but still 30, 40-mile-an-hour gusts with that possible. Lightning, a little bit of hail, but not like it was before. But just good just to stay inside for the evening until that moves on by. I would say, Brooke here just asking how long will that be in Tryon. Brooke, that's moving, to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So I'd say by before 8:30, that storm will be past you. But there's still some more rain and lightning coming in from the west behind it. But this looks to be a little bit stronger. The strongest you'll be dealing with over the next hour or so. So get about 30 minutes. That'll pass on by probably sooner than that. Same thing for Lafayette. But in Dalton, Calhoun, this is starting to move your way. So just be aware of that. Let's do a tracker on that for you. Again, this is not severe, but will it get noisy and start raining heavily again? Well, we'll track the leading edge of that. It's a rough estimate. So this particular line of storms right along Highway 27, Lafayette, Tryon, Somerville. So Everett Springs, around 8:02. Dalton, another round of rain and lightning around 8:17. Calhoun, 8:22. Fairmont, just before 9 o'clock. Chatsworth, about 8:40. So, Chatsworth, you're getting rain and lightning now. Be aware of that. We're tracking this. You're already getting rain and lightning, so it's already noisy. So you're probably looking at it going, 8:40, it's raining now. True, but I'm tracking this cluster right here, cluster of storms, okay? And again, mainly it's staying below severe levels. So Austin, I hope that answered. You're asking about Dalton. Austin, I hope that answered your question there. So a little more rain and lightning coming your way. Pretty noisy out there, but below severe levels, especially considering what's going on farther south. Well, Scottsboro, I just mentioned you're in the clear. Here comes a new warning. New warning for this part of Jackson. Is it for this cell or this one? Let's see what they're dealing with here. So that's a new warning here. It's for that whole line of storms itself. So it's kind of a blanket coverage area here. So you've got a severe thunderstorm warning now for northeastern DeKalb. And for all of Jackson County till the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Central. So for the next hour. So 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So again, it's the line moving southeast of 55. Could have wind gusts of 60. That's the main concern. So Scottsboro, you're back in the game here. Welcome back. But it's all for this line right here. So it's kind of forming in a line right there. So it's moving southeast in this general direction. So it's basically giving you a heads up that you got more rain and lightning coming in and potential for some strong gusts that'll be crossing 72. We'll put a tracker on here coming up here momentarily, but that'll be driving through a large part of Jackson County, but not an individual cell as it is a line coming through. So let's we'll put a tracker on this very broad line from Bridgeport, Pisgah, north of Scottsboro, back around Huntsville, moving southeast at 55. I want it to really, let's see, right there. All right. So if it follows that line, so Scottsboro, you'll be getting that around next few minutes. Some wind gusts, rain, and lightning. Lafayette, if this holds together around 8:30, same time Fort Payne, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Calhoun, Georgia on 8:52. That's just noting this line and the potential for it to move south and east. So it's got some gust with it, rain and lightning, so that's where it's moving. So again, that encompasses that new warning issued a few moments ago for Jackson and northern DeKalb for the next hour, with gusts to 60 being the primary concern, not really a hail situation. Let's see, Julie asking about Dunlap. Well, in Dunlap, you've got a strong cell north of you near Spencer. So here's Dunlap right here. Here's that pretty nasty cell. That's going to be mainly just north of you. So you're going to hear it in the distance, right through the Sequatchie Valley there, but it's going to be staying just north of you. I'm not saying you might have some rain and lightning, but the worst effects with that, potentially, they'll be moving north of you. And across Marion County, rain, lightning, though nothing severe. That's good. Same thing approaching southern Hamilton County near downtown. Pretty wet. You know, we'll keep an eye on any of this gust potential near Stevenson and Trenton, but for the most part, this here it's got some wind gusts with it, but not too severe. But you can see it's got that deep red that just crossed 72. Yeah, so you got some strong wind gusts with it. So, and that's why we respect that warning and just keep an eye on that for southern, that area, Jackson County near Stevenson, down through northern DeKalb County. That'll probably pass just south of Trenton, but the winds will pick up. If you look at this as a whole, this is where they're all moving. And really, if I can draw a little bit better, it's kind of moving like this. The upper level trough is like that. So they're kind of rounding the base of that trough like this. Like that. So once we clear past these, the severe threat will drop down during the night. So I really think, you know, again, it's going to favor more areas south, lesser areas north, not none, but lesser areas to the north. I should also mention Floyd County under that warning that extends from there, the Weiss Lake and Center area, mainly south of Rome. It's noisy there, but all of that severe stuff will be to your south toward Cedartown. And again, here's that loud cluster of storms here from Lafayette, Villanelle, Dalton, Resaca. Again, it's noisy. I've used that phrase a lot. A lot of lightning, heavy rain, but not too severe. But still raining pretty heavily. Most of southern Walker County. All right, let's go back to this warning here for that area from Pikeville to Sail Creek. Put another tracker on that. Again, this warning out. This covers, kind of intersects 5 different counties there. So this is out till next 45 minutes across Bledsoe, Hamilton, Ray, Meigs. Severe thunderstorm warning out there. That storm moving east at 35. Large hail possible with this, and some heavy rain. We looked at the hail tracker a few moments ago. We'll pull it back up again. And you can see right there, hail with it. It was a little bit larger near Spencer. It's kind of come down in size a bit, but again, with that advisory there, we'll go with what the National Weather Service said. It could be larger than an inch in diameter, you know, between $0.25 and $half size. That's pretty large. So be aware of that in Pikeville. Okay. And again, that warning out there till 8:45 Eastern. Moving east at 35. Let's put a tracker on it for you one more time. There we go. And please note again, as this crosses from Central to Eastern time, Pikeville on 7:09 Central. That's roughly the next few minutes. It's already raining there. Graysville, 8:25 Eastern. Dayton around 8:30. Old Washington here at 8:40. And possibly as far east as Decatur by 8:52 Eastern time. So Central versus Eastern on that. The warning itself out till 8:45 Eastern. To the east, a bit of a break. Cherokee Clay were under a warning for a while, but that's since expired. It's still pretty noisy, and this large complex of just scattered storms here. But again, these are all below severe levels. Moving rapidly east-southeast. It wouldn't surprise me. Heavy rain, might be a little hail coming back into that little cell of the southern part of Walker County. So it'll be going right between Dalton and Calhoun. Do a little velocity scan here. Let's check the wind inside there. What are the raindrops doing in that storm? Mainly straight line. Still pretty strong. You can see where it's bright red. Right here, pretty strong gust there. Again, that'll be swinging right through there, right along 75 shortly between Dalton and Calhoun. So some strong wind gusts accompanying that, but it's below severe levels, hence the reason why there's no warning out for it, but still could be some pretty nasty wind gusts. Wind-driven rain, a lot of lightning.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just trying to get ahead.
And most of DeKalb County, not too bad until that really nasty storm slide just to the south there. There's another one right behind it near Albertville again. I think it's the third one in a row. It's right there. That's also sliding southeast. It'll clip far southern DeKalb County. I think it's going to clear out of this polygon here. Okay, so that one's kind of moving out. They might lift that one since it's moving out of the polygon. We'll see. And again, this particular cell here, this particular polygon, covers a large area. This out till the top of the hour, 8 o'clock Eastern, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. It's not for an individual storm as it is this whole line. It's kind of breaking up a bit, but it's kind of in the shadow of the radar, so you may be able to see it better once it gets near Scottsboro. But this has got some straight line winds with it. And it is dropping down to the east-southeast, this general direction like this. So near Scottsboro to Henniger, damaging wind gusts possible with heavy rain and lightning. Not so much a hail threat as it once were, but it's mainly kind of a line there, dropping down to the south through Jackson County. And near South Pittsburgh, just again, another round of lightning and heavy rain south of 41, moving across close to Nickajack Lake and approaching the split with 2459. Traffic's always bad through there. It's even worse when it's raining. But other areas that'll be getting more, it's still noisy in Kensington, Chickamauga, some thunder. Same thing, Trenton up the White Side, Fort Oglethorpe, but none of these are severe. So it's kind of loud out there, but nothing severe at the moment. Everybody under still that severe thunderstorm watch, but all these areas here that I'm showing on the screen, no warnings with that. The only exception being over Jackson County, where it's dropping to the south. North of the city, again, we're tracking this cell near Pikeville, a hail producer. So areas like Sale Creek, Dayton, Pikeville, all under this warning. I believe that's still out till 8:45 Eastern. Cell moving east at 35. Again, more of a straight line winds with that one. And then farther south, it's heavier southern Walker. And we'll keep an eye on that. It's going to move right through Resaca, right between Dalton and Calhoun. And rain, windy, lightning, but below severe levels. Somerville, again, other than some rain and lightning and breeze picking up, it's not too bad. Still a little noisy, but no warning over you. It's pretty rough south of you and just south of Rome. All these are, boy, they're just clipping just southern part of Floyd County, moving this direction. Kind of like that. So kind of a beeline there, center is Cedartown. So this part of DeKalb and Jackson, we'll see if they continue that polygon. That one was out until 7:15. That'll expire the next 6 minutes, but I think the worst part of that cell has moved out of that polygon. And again, this one for Jackson County is for this line right about here. Right about in here. That's dropping same direction, east-southeast. And with it, some gusts that could peak out above severe levels. But other than that, not seeing any other severe elements with that, which is good. So this, we're thankful for us, but it's bad for that part of Coleman to Gadsden, down to Anniston, down to my old stomping grounds, Jacksonville, Alabama, home of the Jacksonville State University. Go Gamecocks. That's my alma mater. They're going to get some really rough weather moving into them, but that's moving away from us. But that's still pretty rough there. So for all my alumni friends there, that part of Calhoun County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you have kids who are at Jack State, give them a call. Tell them just got to stay inside. Got some wind gust, a lot of lightning, heavy rain. That will include Jacksonville State until 9 Eastern. And again, tracking that cell. It's cluster of cells, Calhoun, Resaca, Dalton. It's loud, but not severe. This one's taking its own sweet time. I mean, it was hauling a minute ago, but it seems to be moving a little slower over Bledsoe County. But just warning out for Bledsoe and Meigs and Ray. They continue that till about the next little over half hour from now. Moving east at 35 miles an hour. Let me bump it out just a little bit. Running out of real estate, doing the tracker. Okay. There's an updated timeline here. Notice again, we're still in Central Time till we get out of Bledsoe. So Central Time, 8:12 Eastern. And then you get to Dayton, 8:32. Evansville, 8:37. Decatur, 8:55. And just after 9 p.m. in Riceville, going all the way potentially into McMinn County. Braves score update is 1-1 in the middle of the fourth with the Braves and the Phillies. Come on, Braves. Come on. Get it together. It's still early. Speaking of Atlanta and the Braves, you know what? They're midway through the fourth inning. Well, I'm sure they're watching the radar. Ballpark right here. They might have some storms coming out for the later innings. So again, the only warning locally is for this cell that's over Pikeville. And then this line of storms moving through Jackson County. Let's see if they hold that warning. And then it looks like most of that has moved out of this polygon, which covered far southern Jackson and northern parts of the cab. That expires the next 2 minutes anyway.
Okay. We tried.
So we'll hold on this warning right here. I keep coughing. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of water. So I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna leave it right here on this warned storm as we watch that. Gonna have some large hail, damaging wind with it. So Dayton, Sail Creek remains under that warning. I'll be right back. Grab a little water.
It's right there. Yeah. Wait, how high is it go up? Oh, okay. It's
It's like this is like almost like a styrofoam insert.
Yeah.
So I can put my line up and go first, and then with that insert, it's like across them.
Yeah.
That's actually like a really old technology. Like a lot of people don't use that anymore. They use like a gel insert, but those like always have a curtain. So I just use the old school.
Yeah. Dude, you're much taller than me. So that was kind of fun. I guess. Cause like I can't find. This is my
How tall are you?
short.
I think I'm 6 foot. I don't think.
You are not 6 foot.
Maybe 5'10", 5'11". What are you doing?
I have an extra height because of this. So,
I used to have dog parties as well.
yeah. I think I'm like 5'4", 5'5". Okay, it was a little scratch then. Well,
Okay.
oh, that's not my usual tone.
What is she about both intros? Intro tag. I guess that's what she means.
Yeah, that one really. Hey, fuck this. You correctly so. Hard decisions and tough questions.
All right. Back at it. Had to grab some water. Oh, we've got a Phillies fan. Hello, Florence. It's fine. You'll be good friends with Kim Chapman. She's from Philadelphia, so she's a big Phillies fan too. All right, there's that cell we're still tracking. Let's get another tracker put on it. And just to show you again, that particular warning we're watching, that's out till 8:45 Eastern. Wrong thing. Ignore that. There we go. So again, it's right over Pikeville now. Heavy rain, could have some strong wind gusts with that. Dayton around 8:32. Again, we're still looking at Central Time with that Summer City plot, but these are all the rest of them Eastern Time. Dayton around 8:32, 8:45 Old Washington. Decatur just before 9. And it could go as far east as Riceville just after 9 p.m. See if that severity holds there. And yeah, they canceled that polygon that was over the southern part of Jackson, the cab. We'll see if they hold this one also, but it really looks like, as we were talking about earlier, how that southern part of Virginia would have more. You can see what's going on here. These to the south are really feeding off the daytime heating that had not had earlier storms. So these storms are really like Pac-Man eating up that energy, and the reason why they're so much stronger. While areas farther north, air mass is stabilizing a bit, and the reason why these are still noisy, though not as severe. Because remember, as I mentioned, that first round that rolled by, they were more individual cellular type, almost supercell-like. So they had larger hail potential because of the stronger updraft. And now these are kind of winding down, not as large of a hail potential. Some, but not as large. In fact, still with this one here from Dalton to Calhoun, as I mentioned, it may still have a little bit of hail with it. So there's no warning with it, but don't be surprised to see that. Calhoun, Dalton, Chatsworth, Resaca, you can still have some of that coming on through. Chatsworth, same thing. In fact, Gwendolyn even says that. A little hail in Chatsworth. So there you go. Confirmation there. Brooks says the wind picking up in Tryon. Yeah, it probably is. And it's picking up because you've got this line kind of moving out. So it's going to be a little windy, but as far as over you, no severe cell over you in Tryon, but it is going to be windy as the back edge of what's rounding this trough moves by. So a little windy, a little noisy, but no individual severe cell over you. Okay. But thanks for your report. Appreciate you. A large cluster of warnings there from Gadsden, Jacksonville, north of Anniston, over to just south of Rome. So Floyd County is under warning, but does not include Rome. It's all just the far southern part of Floyd County. And we'll see if they hold that warning here. That was for what's left of that line. It actually stretches from Trenton to Henniger. So you're going to have some wind gusts pick up with that. But other than that, we'll see if they hold that warning. It's still roughly out for the next 23 minutes. But the only other warning for an individual storm is this one here near Pikeville. It's not moved much over the past. I mean, it's moving, but not quite as fast as it once was. So right now, it's near Pikeville, Lee Station, Griffith community, right along 127. So right near Highway 30 and 127. Might have a little bit of hail with that near Lee Station. So heads up in Graysville to Dayton as that approaches the county line. Sale Creek, Graysville, Dayton, all under this warning till 8:45 Eastern. Let's see. Checking other reports, updates from the Storm Prediction Center. Things aren't as busy as they were about 3 hours ago. Whew, it was busy. Now things are kind of calmer. Let's see. Yeah, looking at this, the Storm Prediction Center update, they were stating what I basically just said about all this activity here. You know, with the exception of that one storm here, north, the shift now is to the southeast where the main area of the hail-producing storm. So it's really, you see the line right there. So it's kind of right in here. Is your highest risk factor of large hail. And that is sliding more toward the east and southeast, that general direction like that. So that's moving away. Not good for areas south. Good for us, but areas farther south like Atlanta, I got to watch that, as I mentioned, for the Braves. You know, they're in the fourth inning, late innings there. Could be Could be something to keep an eye on. But for all these other storms here, there might be a little hail, but not quite as strong as they once were. It's very noisy, and then we'll keep an eye. Really, the one storm locally we're watching is that one near Pikeville. And again, this will not be something that lasts all night long. No, I think by before the midnight expiration of that of the watch locally, we'll see the severe threat ending through the overnight hours pretty rapidly. And yeah, many areas locally, I've seen some people noting here the wind's picking up in several locations, and it will. Because what you have is basically this cluster of storms rotating around the base of a trough. I can't get my cursor to cooperate tonight. There we go. It's kind of going like this. So it kind of swings through here like that. You're going to have some winds accompanying that. So it's going to get a little windy. But like I noticed, someone said winds picking up in Ottawa. And that's true. It is pretty windy, but there's no individual cell over you. So don't be too alarmed by that. It is getting a little windy, but, again, aside from some rain, you got a little burst of heavy rain coming in. And loud raindrops, but not a severe storm. But it'll cause a little bit of updraft there and burst of heavy rain, but at this point, not a severe storm moving through. We'll keep an eye on it, though. But raining and windy, but no warnings over that area. And you can see now that cell kind of oozing into Ray County now. Still on the mountain, just west of Dayton. And again, many areas get some lightning, some rain, but again, all these areas here, and I'll just show you all this here from East Brainerd, Ottawa. There's some downpours, there's some lightning, thunder, but all of this is not severe. It's, yes, loud, but below severe levels. We'll continue to watch that, okay? You can see how quickly that near Apis and Ottawa picked up some heavy rains right along the interstate there. And approaching White Oak Mountain, a little burst of heavy rain. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, this is all part of that system that's upper low and cold front moving through. I'll show you a larger view of this. So this is a 3-hour span. The low is up here, so everything's moving around that base, okay? So the low's right there. So this is the first round we had, and here's the second round that we have moving through. So everything else back here is more stable. So these are not severe back here. We'll still have a few showers even tomorrow afternoon, but nothing severe. Already, some good news. Grundy, Van Buren, Cumberland no longer under the watch. That's good. And that trend will continue. As everything starts moving more east-southeast, more counties will get dropped. So we're already seeing things improving to the west. So again, the 2 warnings locally. This was for a line of storms moving through Jackson County, but it appears to be, rain, lightning, and some wind gusts, though, we'll keep an eye on that, but no individuals cell. And again, locally, the one warning here, one warned storm. Do a velocity scan on that. So you can see it's right between Pikeville and Dayton. So still potential for some strong wind gusts. Still potential for some hail with it. Let's take a look at the hail tracker. Pause it there for a second. Yeah, the hail tracker, that pocket a lot smaller now, right between Bledsoe and Ray County. I'll show you the past hour. You can see that where the hail was. Watch as it moves. So it's still got a little bit of hail with it, but not quite as large as it once was. Right there. Okay. Nevertheless, still that warning in effect till 8:45, roughly the next 17 minutes for Bledsoe, for parts of Bledsoe, Hamilton, Meigs, and Ray as it moves on through. Still moving to the east at 35. Let's put another tracker on that for you. Oh, let me bump it out just a little bit more. This is moving fast. So we're tracking the leading edge of the severe warned storm here. There you go. Here's just a rough estimate. These are all now Eastern times, so we're now crossing into Ray County. So Dayton around 8:30. It's right over you right now. Riceville around 9 o'clock. So it could, outside the warned area. Just be aware what's left of that if it holds together. Can move into parts of McMinn County around 9 o'clock. Etowah around 9:20. So there's the movement of that cell over the next hour. And we'll see how well it holds together. Okay. And you can see folks have been noting, and there in Ottawa, that little cell popped up pretty quickly, pretty loud. Got the wind picking up, heavy rain, some lightning swinging on through. So just stay inside till that passes by. But that'll be moving. It's moving more east-southeast down this direction, this way. So I had someone asking about Cohutta not long ago. And that's what's moving more this general direction this way. So more lightning, heavy rain moving through. Let's see. Yeah, it's all below severe levels. No warnings with that. That's a good thing. No rotation with it. That's also good. And as I mentioned, the hail, the amount of hail that we've seen lately is a lot lower than those first cells that we had earlier this afternoon. Blake asking, should we be worried about tornadoes? Again, Blake, that threat's extremely low. I'll never say zero because you have to watch individual storms, but the threat of that's extremely low. Mainly, this is the ingredients we have tonight is mainly for hail and strong wind gusts, but that's starting to ease a bit as the air is starting to stabilize a bit, but that's mainly the threats for now. So Hannah asking about Trenton. Well, Trenton still has some rain around. No individual cell, but it's still going to be pretty breezy, rainy, some lightning for the next good hour or so, but not like it was before. Okay, so may still be a bit noisy, but not quite as bad. Same thing, this whole area in North Georgia, there's a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. I think the worst little cluster is right there, now east of Resaca, Ranger, south of Chatsworth. And that little cell there that popped up near Ottawa, even more lightning over the past 5 minutes. Right there. So, yeah, no rotation with it. That's good. But there could be some strong wind gusts with us. It moves on by. Again, it developed on the outflow of some of the previous activity. Looks like now right along White Oak Mountain there, right along it, on the spine of White Oak. South of 75, southeastern corner of the county, heading into Bradley County. So a lot of lightning. Wind gusts pick up and rain. Short-lived, but it's there. And this storm starting to move along, starting to expand a bit. But again, doesn't appear to be a rotating storm. Still has a wind gust potential there near Dayton, north of Sail Creek. And we showed you the hail core before that, but the hail might have still some little bit of hail with that near Dayton. So Dayton's still technically under the severe thunderstorm warning out till about the next 12 minutes. And we'll see beyond 8:45 if they hold that to a warning or drop it to an advisory. We'll let you know. Let's see. Joyce says, I'm cutting in and out. Can you guys hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Is there any audio problems? Let me know. I'll check the mic. It appears to be on, but I appreciate you, Joy. Let me know that. Other storms north of Dayton. There's a lot of rain and lightning that'll move toward south across the Spring City. This does not appear to be severe. It's just a bit, like the others have been kind of noisy. Oh, good. Everybody can hear me okay? Good. Thank you. We've had audio issues before, so I don't want to leave you hanging. There's that little thing. It still keeps expanding more. It's passing Ottawa. Still hearing the thunder in Ottawa, but that's Howardville to Pine Hill and from McDonald all the way down to the state line. So keep an eye on that in Cohutta to Flint Springs. You're going to have a quick burst of heavy rain and a loud little cluster of lightning coming on through. Just when things are all quiet and boom. Again, it's not a severe cell, but we'll watch it. And there you can see Dayton now getting the heavy rain coming in pretty quickly. So you can see Dayton as you go up on the mountain here. Here's Cranmore Cove, Cumberland Spring, Taylor Hill, just south of Dayton. Heavy rain. Going all the way down to Graysville. Northward of Evansville, had someone note that they had some very heavy rain in Evansville. It's coming on through there. So it's coming off the mountain and down into the valley. And paralleling 27. Rest of Hamilton County, not too bad. Fort Oglethorpe, some wind, some rain, same thing in Chickamauga, but not like it was before, those hail producers. And then we got this one that's kind of popped up and making some noise right along the Bradley-Hamilton County line. So be aware right here, Flint Springs, Wildwood Lake, Cohutta. This will zip on by to the east-southeast pretty rapidly. It's just to the south of McDonald, though everybody can hear that thunder. And again, that warning for Jackson counties expires. So here's some good news here. All this area, all this right in here is a lot of rain and lightning, but it's below severe levels. We like that. So it's going to be pretty noisy for a while, but all this will gradually sink on by over the next 90 minutes or so, 90 minutes to 2 hours. So about 10:30, 11, a lot of it is sinking away to the east and southeast. The worst weather, with the exception of that warning north of the city, up near Dayton, with the exception of that warned storm, the worst weather is shifting more to the south. So this is where it's an untapped atmosphere where it's still feeding off the warm air from the day. And that's just what these storms are feeding off of, that upper level trough, and things are stabilizing farther north. So again, it's still pretty noisy with the rain and lightning and thunder, but not severe like it once was. And here's our one warning out till 8:45. We'll see what they do with this one. It doesn't, the hail is a lot smaller, at least a threat, than what it was before. So is the wind potential. So it seems to be a little bit weaker than it once was, but still raining heavily and some strong gusts with that. So we'll keep an eye on that for areas farther south, toward Decatur, Calhoun, and north of Cleveland. So as that moves to the east and southeast. Now, I've been basically showing where the warnings are, because usually when there's a couple of things. You'll have an area where there's special advisories and warnings. So I've kept the advisories off because I wanted to focus on the warnings. So these are advisories just showing you where storms are still strong but below severe levels. And that's what we have. So, like, for example, this area in Jackson, DeKalb County, this is just a special weather statement out till 9:15. And again, you could have wind gusts between 30 and 50, but it's below severe levels. So still pretty windy, some rain, some lightning, but again, staying below severe levels. So that's what replaced that warning. Same thing down here is that whole cluster of storms we've been watching here near Calhoun, Georgia. Again, some wind gust again up to 30, moving east-southeast, but staying below severe levels. There is a flood warning there. Let's check that out. Flood warning for Gordon County. Oh, that's on the Oostanala River. Minor flooding there. So that's going to be occurring for the next couple of days. So we'll keep an eye on that. And same thing here near Van Buren. This is just a special weather statement on that storm, but that's kind of cleared on through that area. That's about to expire in the next 5 minutes. So both of these advisories will expire. So again, the only warning locally in our viewing area is for this one in northern Hamilton, southern Ray. Most of it is cleared out of Bledsoe County, but still raining. Still some lightning there near Pikeville, but we'll see if they continue with a warning or if they continue farther south and east with an advisory. And then there's that little cell that popped up near Ottawa. It's just making things noisy there. Not even an advisory out for that, but still pretty noisy. Look at all those lightning strikes the past 15 minutes. Pop, 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 pop. That's loud. Dangerous, too. Stay inside. I'll be crossing Highway 60 here. Next few minutes. And again, many areas, again, there's no warnings, just where there are advisories. There's still a lot of lightning out there. It's still loud. And I know when you see on the bottom part of your TV screen, there's the watch out and warnings in a few spots. But for the large part of our viewing area, it's basically some wind gusts, non-severe, rain, and lightning. 3 elements right now. It's a lot weaker, a lot lower threat level than it were several hours ago. So I'll still track this, as this is about to outpace the polygon there. So what's left of that storm move in that direction. So this is going to give you an idea of where to watch for next. So Decatur before 9 o'clock, Riceville just after 9 o'clock, around 9:05, to as far east as Etowah around 9:22, and then into parts of southern Monroe County by 9:35. And again, this is about 2 minutes away from expiring, so we'll see if they continue the warning or expand with a advisory or special weather statement with that. but we'll zoom in right where that is. It's just around Dayton, gusty wind over to Sail Creek, lightning, and even approaching near Decatur. Again, farther south, we've got, a lot of rain and lightning, southern Bradley County, south of Cleveland. You're probably hearing that thunder. A lot of heavy rain and thunder around northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia, but the severe threat is starting to trend more farther to our south. Really nasty there. Gadsden, south of Rome, Cartersville, Roswell, Gainesville, Athens, Georgia. So that's a large part of that is starting to trend. And to update you on the watch, the severe thunderstorm watch is ended for Franklin, Grundy, Van Buren, Cumberland. So all these are out. Rest of us, that watch out till midnight, next 3 hours. But I think before we even get to that time, a lot of it will start trending away with time between now and midnight. Gradually west to east, it'll start trending away those watches. It's not going to last all night long. So that's good. Okay. So at the moment, we're warning free. That warning has expired for that one that's over Ray, Meigs, Hamilton. But I have a feeling they might, depending on the strength, they might put out an advisory. You'll probably see a beige box here pop up in a minute, possibly. But again, it's not, as far as the hail production, it's a lot weaker. The wind was also a lot weaker than it was before with this one. So, but there's still quite a bit of rain that's going to roll through Sail Creek to Calhoun to Athens within the hour. Still some wind gust potential there. Yeah. Look at the velocity scan. So yeah, it's still got some, it may be below severe levels, but still some gusts pretty strong there. So you go from Dayton, Sail Creek, all these areas, North 58 near Britsville, Birchwood, Mount Harmony, Goodfield, Decatur. So you got some strong gusts coming your way. But right now, that warning was allowed to expire. And again, what you have here, these are non-severe advisories. Out here for Franklin, Jackson, DeKalb. Again, you could have some occasional wind gust between 30 and 50 miles an hour. It's out till 9:15 Eastern. And again, all of this here across northwest Georgia is just pretty noisy with a lot of lightning and heavy downpours of rain, but all below severe levels, which is good. That's what we like. And again, what's left of that storm that rode through Dayton is still pretty loud. So heads up Decatur. You got some lightning coming your way crossing the river. It's going to get a little loud out there. And some gusts, but it looks like it's staying below severe levels. Same thing towards Spring City, up to Pikeville, and up to Crossville. So here's the plan for now. We'll hold here and continue this. We'll continue this feed to about 9 p.m. If there's no other warnings, we'll let this stream stop, and I'll keep you updated on social media. But right now we're warning free. Let's just hope we stay that way. Oh, Emily asks, I have to drive to work in Ringgold at 9:30. Should I wait? Well, let's take a look. In Ringgold, you got some pretty good downpours. In Ringgold, it's probably still going to be raining over that about 40. By 9:30, it'll probably still be raining. So it's up to you on what you're comfortable with driving in. For example, if it's raining heavily, I don't like to drive. That's just me. So I would just tell you, if you had to go to work at 9:30, just be aware that 9:30 is probably still going to be raining in Ringgold. But you get closer to 10 o'clock, a lot of this will start moving away. Okay, it may improve. So I don't want you to be late for work, but we do want you safe. It's according to what your comfort level is with rain. It's not severe, but it is raining heavily. It's heavy downpours now, which by 9:30 may still be sticking around. But as you'll see, it's going to improve pretty rapidly. All this is starting to trend away. So after 9:30, it might start improving quite a bit. Okay? Hope that helps. But please be careful. Yeah, again, it's again, got some heavy rain out there. Chickamauga, Lafayette, Ringgold. There's that what's left of that little thing that developed right there near Ottawa. Look how it just kind of just blew up quickly, moved east quickly as that upper level trough swings on through. So some of the outflow from the previous storms causing some of that. So there'll be some lightning, some heavy rain rolling on into Polk County. Heavy rain over southern Meigs County. So it's pretty loud out there. Sail Creek to Decatur. I mentioned Goodfield up to 10 Mile. So still some lightning out there, but this cell is not as severe as it once was. Notice how it was a pretty tight cell about an hour ago, and that's more elongated and ragged. That's when it had the warning issue when it was over Van Buren and Bledsoe, and now kind of easing apart a bit, but still has some strength to it. But things will be rapidly improving. You notice up in here, northwest of the city, things are really improving up in here. And that will continue improving as we go through the next hour to 2 hours. It'll all start pushing away to the south and east. And again, not lasting all night long. So we're still on that timetable, which is good. And again, we'll continue this till about the next 10 minutes, unless there's any other warnings issued. Let you carry on with your evening, and if need be, if there are any other warnings issued, we'll break in and let you know. But just to show you at the moment, we are warning free. These are not warnings; these are just special statements based on the rain still ongoing. Occasionally, some strong gusts and heavy rain. But again, we've seen a sizable shift in where the worst weather is to our south and moving more to the southeast. These are starting to absorb some of the daytime heating and feeding off that, while for us, things are stabilizing a bit. So that's good. Yeah, Devin noting lightning was intense. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of lightning going on. Yeah, that little cell that rolled on through, you can see right when it moved on through, there's quite a bit of lightning pretty abruptly too. There's like paparazzi going on. But as quickly as it started popping, it'll quickly start moving out. Conda noting that it rained steadily on Dayton Mountain, but the lightning thunder has calmed down, thankfully. That's good. And thankfully, that's about all it was in Dayton. That's good to hear. So that's a good report to get, that's what we're kind of seeing near Decatur approaching. There's a lot of lightning. Evansville to Decatur, it's getting pretty loud. Right here along Highway 30. And it'll be approaching the corridor with 58. It's crossing the river, so beware. There's still a lot of lightning. You need to stay inside. That's still dangerous enough. So still quite a bit of intense lightning with this moving through. But the other severe elements as far as wind and hail, that seems to be coming down. Not like when it once was. Marty says raining in Birchwood, and you can see it right there. Right along 58 there. I can zoom in there. Right there's Georgetown. Birchwood northward into Meigs County. You can see all that heavy rain coming in. It's probably wind driven too. Yeah. There's, take a look at that. How much more improvement? So all areas now north of the state line are out. Bye-bye watch. Severe thunderstorm watch is over now for all areas north of the Tennessee state line. So it remains in effect here till midnight Eastern. But more than likely, as everything starts moving away to the south and east, counties be trimmed away as well. So that's good. Things are improving here across Southeast Tennessee. So again, still noisy in here, yes, but the severe element, as far as the strong wind gusts and the hail potential, that's coming down. So still raining, still a bit breezy and still kind of loud, but not severe. So that watch has been lifted for areas north of the Tennessee state line. And again, no other warnings are in place. That's good. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap this thing up, and I'm going to give you a tour across the viewing area one more time. And we'll come back if needed. But be sure to join me. I'll be on in about an hour on Fox Chattanooga 10 live. You can watch that on foxchattanooga.com, streaming live, 10 to 11. Then I'll be on News Channel 911 live update on air, which you can also watch on your mobile device at newschannel9.com. So you can watch throughout that. But currently, we still have north of the city. If you go from, say, Georgetown to Decatur to Spring City, it's raining heavily, a lot of lightning. So for you folks in 10 mile Decatur, eventually Athens, Calhoun, it's still going to be raining. So going to be, quite a bit of lightning and thunder. So a little noisy out there, but these are below severe levels, but it's still wind driven. So be aware of that. So we're not quite finished yet. It's a thunderstorm, just not a severe thunderstorm. Okay. South of Cleveland, rain, lightning, thunder. Again, it's accompanied by some breezes, though not severe. Same thing around Chattanooga, Chickamauga, Lafayette, Dalton, all still rain, downpours and lightning. Again, it's noisy, but these are all below severe levels, not as strong as they once were. Northeast Alabama, it is rapidly improving. You go from west of Fort Payne, west of Scottsboro, things are improving quite a bit. It's all moving south and east. You're still going to get another round of downpours in Chattooga County, coming out of DeKalb County, but again, not severe. So Fort Payne, Summerville, Tryon, you're going to have more downpours swinging on through in the next couple of hours. Between now and midnight, so raining heavily. Be aware of some ponding on roadways, a little bit of flash flooding. But all this area across North Georgia, there is rain, there's lightning, but it's not severe. Okay? And just to show you one more time, all areas now north of the state line, that watch has been lifted. It remains in effect till midnight, but I have a feeling gradually between now and midnight from west to east, these counties will probably get trimmed away. Okay? So that's the radar view again. Be safe out there with still the lightning going on. Be safe if you have to drive this evening. Wet roads and water ponding in the roadways, so just stay safe. I'll have another update coming up live on Fox Chattanooga 10 and News Channel 911. And if need be, anything else develops between now and the next hour, back here on streaming live. But thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks so much for your comments. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you again at 10 and 11. Stay safe. Have a great night.